So now that we're all set up and Mirai is ready to go, it's time to start thinking about how to design the actual application that we want to implement with the robot. We call this step application design, and it mainly consists of trying to imagine how the overall movement of the robot in the application should look like, and then breaking it down into sections that are either camera controlled or just classically programmed in Polyscope, like you're used to from doing normal universal robot programming. So if you imagine you want to do a task like this one, where you have a piece that's somewhere on the table and you need to pick it up there, and then you move it over here and you say insert it somewhere here. That sounds like a three-phase movement. The first phase would be approach, pick up the object. The second phase would just move over here through free space, and then do the insertion. And then for every one of those sections, you need to ask yourselves, do I need Mirai? If you don't use it. If you do, train a skill to perform that part of the movement. So this three-phase movement that I'm using as an example here would be the first movement, pick up the piece. That is obviously a Mirai skill. You want to have this camera controlled. You want to train a skill to perform that section of the movement. Once you're done, once it's picked up, it's in the gripper of the robot, you just program classically with two poses that you interpolate between the movement through free air, and then the insertion. Either it's a very well-defined insertion where you know exactly where the piece needs to go, then you just use another pose in Polyscope, or you want to insert with some variations. In this case, it would be a Mirai skill again. Generally, it's a good idea to try to make the Mirai skills as short and concise as possible. Right? There's no use making large movements where you don't actually need the camera. It doesn't make sense to train that into Mirai. So in this case, a very typical setup would be, find the shortest, most minimal Mirai skill, the most minimal part of the movement that's going to be controlled by the camera in real time. Train that as the pickup skill, then move over here just with two poses, and then insert either with a Mirai skill or just with a fixed pose. Okay.